Hi, another video from Design Skills. What we're going to do today is look at isometric drawing. So on here I've got two cubes that I've drawn using isometric. The main principle about isometric is when you're drawing your horizontal lines at 30 degrees and your vertical lines will be at 90 degrees. And throughout the process, all these lines are parallel. So whenever you're checking your work to make sure you've done the work at isometric, you can make sure that all your vertical lines are parallel, going straight up and down. All the lines on the right hand side will go off at the same angle that are parallel. Likewise on the left hand side, they'll all be parallel, so you can check how your work's doing by making sure they're parallel. So when you're doing isometric drawing, it has quite strong links to sort of maths and engineering, and it's just a different approach to doing a 3D representation of an object, and it's a good way of starting to draw in 3D. What I'm going to do today is show you how to draw using a grid underneath. When I start drawing, sometimes I might start off by drawing a Y shape in the middle, and then I'll go around the outside in like a hexagon to create the cube. So that's just one approach you can do when you're drawing. Ultimately, the reason why we want to draw in 3D is you want to be able to sketch. So I'm going to use a grid to start with, and eventually as you get used to drawing, you can obviously remove the grid and sketch away without the grid, which is a much quicker process. Or you can remain with the grid or use a ruler. So if you get a set square at 30 degrees, you can do a more technical approach and use the ruler to make a sort of neat engineering type drawing. So this is a grid I'm going to use. You can see that all the lines are going up at 30 degrees, and you've got your vertical lines there going up and down. I'm going to use that as an underlay and place my paper on there so you can just see the paper through. And basically what we're doing is going to be just like a sort of a creative sort of almost dot to dot. So if you can see the lines, I'm going to go around the outside. So this way I'm doing the hexagon first and then the Y in the middle. And that's basically the principle. And then if you increase the size of your shape by adding the cubes on, we've got one now which is 2 by 2, and then that is your cube, and all I'm doing is just tracing over the item there. I do a larger one in the middle, do one that's 3 by 3. You've got 3 triangles by 3 triangles, and obviously I've just said I start with a Y, and I haven't done that this time again. There we go. So that's a great way of practicing your drawing. And then obviously this can lead on to a process called crating, where you use a cube and then you draw your product within the cube. Normally when I do a drawing like this, I like to use thick and thin lines, so that's my thin lines. So using thin lines on the inside of a shape, and then I like to put the thick lines on the outside. And this way the shape stands out on the page. You could add a thicker line along the bottom just to create almost like a bit of gravity or a shadow at the bottom. But that's isometric drawing. So isometric drawing, remember the lines are parallel, so all these lines are parallel with each other. You're drawing at 30 degrees. It's got a very strong link to maths, and if you are doing maths at school, you might use isometric paper to draw objects to work out volume. But it's a basic way of drawing in 3D, and it can lead on to doing sketching later on. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you.